local property auction. Now, there are literally thousands of property auctions going on up and down the country. So how do you choose? Well, whatever you choose, more importantly, it's about doing your research before you dip your toe in the water.
I agree. Now, how did today's buyers go? And what did they buy? Did they take our advice?
Let's find out. In southeast London, Lucy visits a one-bedroom flat with a planning dilemma.
Is it worth tweaking this flat to change the layout? I'm not sure.
And in this two-bed house in Cumbria, my worry is, will the bedroom floor take my weight?
Listen to that. And at this four-bed house in Blackpool, I'm concerned with what's going on above my head. Because that is actually the underside of the slates.
All these properties have been sold at auction, and we'll find out who bought them and what they paid when they went under the hammer.
Well done, sir.
Off to southeast London now and Catford. Catford has plenty of amenities, and being only 8 miles from central London, the train gets you to Charing Cross in 20 minutes. So, will the lot here have Lucy purring?
When buying in London, one of the key criteria is the walking distance to the tube. The closer you are, the better it is. Normally, the golden distance is considered to be a 10-minute walk or less. Now, the property I'm here to see is just a little bit further away than that. It's a 15-minute walk from here to the station, and the train is mainline, not underground. So it's not perfect, but not too bad either. And here is the property. It's a ground floor, one-bedroom flat in this mid-terrace house, and it had a guide price at auction of £170,000. So inside this rather long hallway, and well, it's certainly two-tone, isn't it? Like a mustard colour on the top, and then a tangerine peachy colour on the bottom. Somebody's taken a long time to do that. Anyway, moving on, it all needs decorating and cleaning up. It's really old-fashioned, it's really tired. You've got this thick, flocky wallpaper that needs to come off, but you've got quite a nice lounge area. Wood chip wallpaper ceiling, that's going to have to come down. The old gas fire over there. But the good news is there is central heating, so there are bits and pieces you can work with. You've got some double glazed windows here. They're not the prettiest I've ever seen, but at least it does the job. So not a bad space. There is one thing though I would definitely do: change the carpet. Just take a look down there. That's got to be changed.
Roll up the carpet, push back the chairs, get some music on the radio.
The next room along is the only bedroom, but it's a good-sized double. However, like the rest of the house, this also needs a total refurb from floor to ceiling.
And off this really long corridor, down a few little steps, into the kitchen at the back of the property. Now, it continues in the same vein. It's in a bit of a state. Oh my gosh, look at this cooker. What's been going on with that and the tiles? Oh, okay, so you can see it needs to be skipped, basically. Get rid of it, start again. But it's a great space. It's big. You could have a table in here. Bit worried about that chimney breast, though. I'm not quite sure what's supporting that because half of it has been taken away. I think that is. So, you know, I'd get a structural engineer perhaps to check out something like that in the property. And another thing, as you know, I'm not really keen on, you've got the loo and you've got the bathroom right there, straight off the kitchen. So you've got a great space here. Is it worth tweaking this flat to change the layout? I'm not sure. But the good news is you've got instant access out into the garden, and I'm going to check it out. Now, one advantage of buying a ground floor flat is that often, well, you get a garden with it, and here is the garden. Now, you can see it's been divided up, and it comes with a ground floor flat, and that's great news because you've got sole access to this. It may be small, but in a crowded and busy city like London, when any outside space really is a bonus. And as you can see, on a nice sunny day, Not like today. In fact, it's pouring. This could be quite a nice place to sit.
Sounds more like Dogford than Catford there, Lucy.
The dog days are over. The dog days are done. The horses are coming, so you better run.
Should the buyers be running from this property? Let's hear what a local agent thinks.
It needs total refurbishment. It needs new floor coverings, new bathroom, new kitchen, new central heating, windows, the whole shebang.
So that will be new everything, I suppose. That's bad news. Now, what's the good news?
This is a very spacious one-bedroom flat, and with some rejigging, you could create a two-bedroom property out of the space here. There will be a lot of work here. There will be structural work. You'd have to move walls, doors, windows. I think that the cost may be prohibitive.
Well, a two-bed generally does increase the value, particularly in the London market. But how do the maths stack up? First, what could this flat gathered at £170,000 sell for when refurbished?
As a one-bedroom flat, I would expect to sell this property for a figure in the region of £315,000.
Okay then, so if you were to get this for anything like the guide price, there could be a lot of profit here. But would it be worth knocking down walls to make that second bedroom? How much would a two-bed be worth?
If the conversion was carried out sympathetically and to a good standard, I would assume that we could achieve a figure close to £335,000.
Well, with £20,000 of a difference, the agent's calculation could well be right. It could cost that much in time and money to make structural changes and get the permissions. So what about rental?
We would get a rental of about £1,100 as a one-bedroom unit, and if it was converted to two bedrooms, that figure would rise to £1,300 per calendar month.
Well, this one-bed Catford flat needs a bit of work to bring it up to date, but it's got a garden, it's got a long lease, and they are two big ticks in the property box. So, who wanted to take this flat on? Let's head to auction and find out.
Right, next lot is lot 13. One-bed flat. Would like kick off sort of 170, go up from there. 170. 170 in the front, 175. Can't sell it to him on his first bid. £170,000. Just behind you, 175, 180 in the front. 185, sir. 190, 195, 200.
After a slow start, things heated up, and we returned to the bidding at £220,000.
222 sitting down. 224 elsewhere. 224 with you, thank you. 224, 226. 226, 228, 230, please. I'm saying please. 228 with you. Anyone else? 228, first time, second time, third and last time. If you're done, sold 228 to husband, wife, and baby. Well done.
That successful bid of £228,000 was made by husband and wife team Jose and Carolina. And if they look familiar, that's because Lucy met them on the show before when they bought their first property, also in Catford. Let's hear what they've been up to since, although I think the baby might be a clue.
Carolina and Jose, it's so lovely to see you again. How long has it been since we last met?
4 years?
4 years.
4 years since you bought your last auction property with me. So what have you been up to, guys?
We have been working with properties. This is our fourth. And learning a lot. We have 2 kids now, Thomas and Juliana.
You have 2 children
Yes.
now. Fantastic. And how old are they?
Thomas is 1 year and a half and Juliana 4 months.
So that's keeping you really busy.
Yes.
And you're still working on the properties.
Yes, more Jose is more involved because I have the kids, but
Yes.
still working.
And Jose, you still got the little dog?
Yes, Laurie.
Yeah,
She's still with
lovely.
us.
Fantastic. And haven't you got another business as well where you work closely with people coming over to this country?
Yes, we still have the student agency, so we bring students from overseas to study,
Yeah.
and we offer them accommodation. So we in different properties in central London.
So tell me about this property, Jose. What was it that interested you?
So something I really like about this property is that it's a good one-bed flat size. I really like the size of the flat. So it's got potential to becoming something a little bit more attractive, like a two-bed flat.
Now, it's in a bit of a state as well, needs a bit of work doing, but I know that doesn't put you off at all. What makes you think you can turn this into a two-bed flat and do a good job on it?
We've done some research. I've been speaking to different estate agents, and obviously, if we want to create a two-bed flat, we have to compromise some things. But they say so far, people they're getting used to more to have, for example, the kitchen into the living room area. So it's like, I think it's gonna work.
But the only thing that worries me, by doing that, you've got to start making structural changes. And that gets costly. And then you've got to weigh up how much is it worth doing it to knock a wall down. You've got to get the freeholder's permission as well.
We already request permission from the freeholder, which is he say yes.
Good.
We got party wall agreement from the neighbours, and they say yes, so it's
Good.
fine.
It's a tick.
Tick.
Phew,
We are still
relief.
waiting. We already gave the information to the landlady for the flat above, and we're still waiting for her reply. But
Okay.
I think she'll be fine.
Getting that permission stands them in good stead because Jose and Carolina have huge structural changes planned for this flat. They want to knock down the structural wall in the front living area, then move the kitchen living space to the front of the house. The bathroom at the back will become a second bedroom with 2 bathrooms and an access corridor taking the space of the kitchen. Wow, I mean in London more bedrooms equals more money, but it does sound like a tight squeeze.
So guys, what is the budget? How much do you think you're going to spend here?
We are thinking to spend around 40,000.
Okay, so £40,000 is the quote you've had?
Yes, I mean we got something like £32,000, but obviously we still have to include the kitchen and the bathrooms, a few things that is going to add up.
Okay.
But so far the quote is roughly 33.
Okay, so £32,000 for the quote for the work, and then you've got to add on to that the bathroom, the kitchen. So guys, how long do you think this is going to take you? Carolina, I'm going to ask you first.
I think around 6 months.
6 months?
Yeah.
Okay. Jose, do you agree with that?
We have to try to get it much sooner. So I had in mind something about 3 to 4 months.
Okay, 3 to 4 months, but practically, realistically...
Yeah, to have everything ready, I think 6 months.
And how are you going to find the time now with the kids?
Let's see, Tomas is going to the nursery today, so I can use those days to come and give a hand to Jose.
That's good. And Jose, you're going to be quite hands-on all the time.
Yes, definitely.
Guys, I'm really excited for you. Congratulations on this project, and I can't wait to see the outcome. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Lovely to see you again. Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Thank you. So Jose and Carolina have been going great guns since I saw them a couple of years ago. And they're now embarking on property number 4. But will their plans to rejig this layout work? And will this one-bed flat become a 2-bedder? Or will it just be a little bit of a tight squeeze? You can find out how Jose and Carolina get on later in the programme.
I'm in Cumbria and the small town of Wigton, situated between Carlisle and the Lake District. Wigton has served as a market town since the medieval times, and that tradition continues today with this local livestock auction, where it's more hooves rather than homes under the hammer. The property I'm here to see is just 100 yards away from the centre of Wigton, where you've got the local shops, and I'm pretty sure I've seen a local pub as well. And here's our property. It is a 2-bed, mid-terrace house with a guide price of £40,000. Let's have a look. Right, we are straight into the front room, which isn't ideal, but it seems to be a pretty quiet road. And you have got double glazed windows as well, which does help. Really high ceilings, and that ceiling nose there with loads of detail. Just across the hallway here now, careful down those stairs. Very steep stairs there, which I will show you. Stairs going up to the bedrooms. Have a look at these stairs. That is a big drop into the second reception room. Again, really high ceilings. Not quite sure what they're trying to achieve with that little gap, but it's a good sized second reception room. And just through there is the kitchen. Strange configuration, but I quite like it.
we're strange. So why do you feel ashamed?
This house is odd, and even the layout is a break from the norm. Sometimes that can be a good thing, although a property with all these steps wouldn't be for everyone. The theme continues upstairs, where you have a split-level landing, and more stairs that lead down into a very large bathroom. So you've got the bathroom just to the left of me, round the corner, and there is the first bedroom, which is over the front of the property. You have got a few different levels here, which does make it quite quirky. Into the second bedroom, and it's... Listen to that. It's a little bit bouncy, this floor, as you can hear the glass in the wardrobe. It's a nice sized bedroom, but I don't want to hang about in here too long. He's got it.
Keep an eye on your toes. Keep an eye on your toes.
Although to also keep you on your toes, there's something below this room. Yes, it's our old pal, the flying freehold. So with properties like these, where the house goes over the access, there sometimes can be confusion. Who has right of access, where the boundaries lie, and who's in charge of the maintenance. What I would suggest is check the deeds. Always read the legal pack, because it could save you a bit of a headache, and then everything's nice and clear, and you know where you stand.
There are times when I don't know where I stand. Oh.
Of course, it's always wise to have your solicitor check everything out for added peace of mind, as you don't want to have any concerns about flying freeholds hanging over your head.
Oh, sometimes I lie awake at night and worry for a while.
We've asked along a local estate agent to see if he has any worries about this property's unconventional layout.
The property is quite quirky. Some people may think that puts people off. Other people think it's, a selling feature. Personally, I think it's a selling feature. It's got an awful lot of property here for the money. You've got a really good basement. You've got outside what is effectively a garage, which you can use. You couldn't get a car in, but you can use it for storage and all kinds of other things. It's got good-sized bedrooms, good-sized bathroom. I think it ticks more boxes than it checks, definitely.
So, all in, this looks good. But what could this property guided at 40 grand be worth once it's been done up?
If I was putting this property on the market for resale, once a good standard refurbishment's been done, I think you could certainly market the property somewhere in the region of £85,000 and expect to achieve around £80,000.
So, a bit of money to be made there. But what about it as a long-term rental investment?
If the property was to come to the rental market, I would certainly expect it to achieve somewhere in the region of around £400 to £425 per calendar month.
I do actually quite like this house. It's a little bit quirky, which means it will appeal to some, but not others. Let's see who it did appeal to when it went under the hammer.
Two-bedroom terraced house, conveniently situated just off the town centre, good investment property, straight in at 40 anyone? 35. 35 here, 35 on Bedwood away in once, 36, 37, 7, 38, 39, 40. Looking at your feet, back with you, sir, on the aisle, £39,000 have we done. £39,000 then. First time, take a half of it helps. Half I've got, 40. Half, you started it. Add £40,000 in here to sell. First time, you're in. Second time have we done. All done then, selling. 40, well done, sir.
The successful bidder who paid 40 grand for this house was Dave. He's an electrical engineer, so he's hoping he and his wife Marion didn't get their wires crossed for reasons to buy this house. Dave, nice to meet you.
You too.
Congratulations, pal.
Well, thank you very much.
What made you buy this one?
Oh, lots of reasons. Close proximity to the Harehounds.
Oh, that's a very good shout, by the way. Nearest pub?
Nearest pub.
Good man.
And other than that, my wife and I came to look at it, and we just loved the place. It's so quirky. We just kind of fell in love with it straight away.
So when you viewed the property, did you know what you wanted to do with it?
Yeah, we did. It was just, we bought it for a pension fund, really, and the whole intention all the time was to let it out. We know who the tenant's going to be, and she's quite happy to be painting and doing her own thing, really, so we're happy to let her.
You're a step ahead of the game, so you've already got a tenant waiting, which is fantastic.
Yeah, incredibly, she sent my wife a text the day before I went to the auction to buy this place, saying, "Have you got a house? I'm looking for one."
Really?
Yeah.
God, I like that. You see, it's there, isn't it? Ready to go.
Yeah,
Forward
absolutely.
planning.
It is. So hopefully she'll be in by the end of the month. So that'd be great.
What's your first thoughts? What's the first thing you're going to do?
The first thing that we'll be doing is getting the electrics sorted out because there are one or two sockets missing. It looks like somebody started the job, got kind of halfway and then stopped for some reason. And I don't know what the reason is.
They're up the pub.
They've got the pub, yeah, obviously. And indeed, why wouldn't it?
Exactly.
So once the electrics are sorted out and I've got the gas certificated, it'll just be a quick case of a bit of paint, a few windows to sort out. Pretty much most of the property is already double glazed, so there isn't really very much to do in that respect.
Now, you've got a bit of a bouncy floor as well, haven't you?
Yeah, in the bedroom above the lane, I'm going to have to investigate that, so that might go with some budget, but I can't imagine it very much. Even if the entire floor's to replace, how bad can it be?
Tell me how much you've got to spend on the house and what you're going to spend your budget on.
The budget will be small. I can't really see it coming in any more than £2,000, even including windows and the likes.
And how long will it take to turn this place around? Ready for the new tenant?
I suspect that the new tenant will be in before the place is actually finished. But because she's our friend, if it takes me a little while to get the windows sorted out, she'll be happy with that. That won't be a problem at all. So I reckon total job 2 months.
And there's a shared access. Did you know all about that?
Yeah, I did read the legal pack, and how the access works is technically the lane belongs to us, and the guy next door has a right of access.
Okay. Dave certainly sounds like he's got this property lark sussed. He's done his homework, got a tenant. He seems like a bit of a pro.
I'm certainly no property developer, but my own house that I've lived in for 20 odd years now, I actually, when I bought that, it was in such bad condition, I actually took it down and put it back up again. So
you did that?
Yeah, with help from professional builders and plumbers, etc. But yeah, I did that.
Okay, so will you be getting involved in this renovation? Will you get hands-on on this one?
Yes.
Yes, I'm not sure that wasn't convincing, Dave.
Yeah, it wasn't a very convincing yes. Our pal Phil will have a look at the windows, and I'll get our Paul to have a look at the painting, and there'll be a few different people on the job, just guys I know.
Dave seems like a guy who takes everything in his stride, so I don't think anything is going to faze him, not even the content of the outhouses.
They're full of junk, and pretty much most of it belongs to the guy next door, actually. He was absolutely spot on, I'd have to say.
I wish you all the best. Good luck, hope it works out.
Thank you.
It's a good job that Dave gets on with his new neighbours, because they're sharing this access, and at the moment, they're sharing their outbuildings as well. Come back later on in the show to see if they're still getting on and how he's getting on with his new development.
Still to come, at this Blackpool property, the wheels have well and truly come off this garage.
It's actually, as far as I can see, back of a truck.
And in Wigton, Dave's renovation hits a bump in the road.
It was at that point that I decided that the kitchen roof would have to go.
Back now to Catford in southeast London, where Lucy looked around a one-bedroom flat with a guide price of £170,000. The positive points were it had a fairly spacious lounge, the kitchen was really big by London standards, and a real plus, it had a small garden. But it really was in a bad state and needed gutting.
It's in a bit of a state. Oh my gosh, look at this cook-up. What's been going on with that and the tiles? Oh, okay, so you can see it needs to be skipped, basically. Get rid of it, start again.
There wasn't much to be salvaged here, but that didn't put off the bidders come auction day.
228.
The successful bidders were Jose and Carolina, who paid £228,000.
Wife and baby, well done.
This was their fourth development, and despite running their business, helping Colombian students come here to study, and having 2 children, they had big plans for this rundown flat.
What makes you think you can turn this into a 2-bed flat and do a good job on it?
If we want to create a 2-bed flat, we have to compromise some things. But they say so far people they're getting used to more to have, for example, the kitchen into the living room area. So it's like, I think it's going to work.
But the only thing that worries me, by doing that, you've got to start making structural changes. and that gets costly.
Lucy was concerned that there didn't appear to be much profit potential in taking on the extra work. The couple hoped to have all the structural changes done for $32,000, but they would still have a kitchen and bathroom to fit out. With Carolina thinking the job would take 6 months and Jose claiming 3 to 4, who would be right? We split the difference and have come back after 5 months. Well, it looks like Jose and Carolina haven't been wasting their time. That former dingy and dated living room has been transformed into an ultra-modern open-plan kitchen diner. The bedroom is looking really fresh, and it also has direct access to the garden. The dramatic changes continue in the rear of the property. That outdated kitchen and bathroom are completely gone and have been replaced by a master bedroom and ensuite. The couple have also managed to squeeze in a second toilet, an easy thing to add when the internal layout has changed completely.
We have to remove all the structural walls of the flat. So basically the one that was in between the living room and the bedroom, that was structural, so we have to create a column, and we have to fit a steel. Exactly the same happened at the back, so we have to put a lot of steel on it.
As their plans involved structural changes, Jose and Carolina had to get permission from the leaseholder, the owners from the flat above, as well as the ground and first floor flats to either side of the property. But thanks to everyone's cooperation, they've managed to achieve a fantastic result. What have they learned from the renovation of this flat?
We find that it's really important in these small flats that we have to use every single space. So obviously, because of the kitchen is at the front, and obviously we have to share with the living room, we try to move the sort of utility we move on the side. So that's like a small space where you go your washing machine, your dryer, and like folding clothes. So I think it's perfect.
Moving the washing machine from the shared kitchen was a good idea. After all, you don't want to hear a whirring washing machine when you're watching your favourite property show in the morning. But moving on, how do they feel it's gone?
We're really happy with the result, because initially the flat was really, really dirty and it was in a really bad condition, flooring, walls. So now what we've done is we used engineering flooring throughout, new plastering, white colors everywhere, and new kitchen. So I think it looks definitely much better than it was before.
Their builders have done a really great job, but what roles did Jose and Carolina take on themselves?
Basically, I was checking that permission was in place, and I was dealing with the freeholder, so basically structural things.
I have less time with the 2 kids, but I was helping with decoration that I like, and at the beginning with the layout, and I'm happy with what Jose has done.
It sounds like they've had their hands full with this property, the student accommodation business, and their 2 children. So how did Thomas and Juliana like it?
They've been involved since the moment we bought the flat, because we went with the little Juliana when we went to the auction. And Thomas is something that he really enjoys. So since we started the project, I've been coming with Thomas.
He's in charge of the new grass, the garden.
He's the one who tests that the grass is solid and for him to play.
And watering.
And watering. He's really good watering as well.
Well, it sounds like Thomas has enjoyed himself. But how did Mum and Dad find working together?
Working together has been fine. I mean, since we married, we all been working together. And now we go 2 teams. One is outside working, and the other one is at home. It's been fine.
We enjoy it.
The couple have spent £45,000 on the flat, which is pretty good going, given they thought the work without the kitchen and bathroom would be £32,000. So in total, they've spent £273,000 here. Time to ask 2 local estate agents if Jose and Carolina made all the right moves here. Let's begin with the agent who saw it in its previous state.
The layout is slightly different to what I was actually expecting, the fact that they've actually put the kitchen in the front, but it actually works quite well.
Having had a look around the flat, and I didn't see it before, I must say I'm very impressed by the finish. It's very nicely done. It's been opened up, as you can see, the walls for the hallway have been removed. They've done a really good job on it.
The fact that they've changed it now to the 2-bedroom will certainly add value, and the fact that it's now got 2 bathrooms as well. I think they've managed to really squeeze a lot in, and I think they've done a really good job.
But will they be able to squeeze a profit out of their £273,000 investment?
I think the sales valuation is approximately £330,000, and I think the rental market would be approximately £1,400 per calendar month.
If the flat were to go into the market, I believe it will sell for £350,000. And if it went into the rental market, it'd rent for £1,200 per calendar month.
If they were able to achieve that top rental figure of £1,400, that would mean a yield of just over 6%. And that top sales value could give them a profit of £77,000, minus taxes and fees. But what do Jose and Carolina think of those valuations?
This is a long-term investment, so we're not planning to sell, but I think it's good. I mean, we add value to the property.
So their plan to rent the property out hasn't changed. But what does the future hold for Jose, Carolina and family?
This is something that we really enjoy, so we're planning to carry on this business. We find auction that is really exciting, and it's something that we've been twice, and we definitely enjoy a lot. So definitely that's a must.
Now, you'll probably recognise this place even before I say the name. Yes, I'm in Blackpool, one of England's busiest seaside destinations, famous for its illuminations, North Pier, and of course the Blackpool Tower. The town has had its ups and downs over the years, but with recent investment in the area, the hope is that soon it'll be back to its old self. I wonder if the same can be said about the property I'm here to see today. We're not far from the town centre, the seafront and all the delights that Blackpool has in store is the property I'm here to see. It's a 4-bed end terrace, guide price £56,000. Well, in its day, which my guess was about 1900 when these were built, this would have been a really grand property owned by probably quite an affluent local business person. And you get that impression when you walk through the front door, because there's a little porch area there, and then through into the sort of the entrance here. And apart from the fact that that stairway has been boxed in a really slightly questionable way, you immediately get a really nice sense of space. Similarly with your front room there, big grand space. Obviously signs of some problems on the front bay there, and then through into fairly classic, the rear lounge, the rear sitting room. I don't know what is going on with the floor. It's sloped upwards, which isn't generally the way you want a floor to be. Flat is generally regarded as the norm, but you know, big old fireplace here. Again, lots of light coming in. The benefit, of course, of being an end terrace, lots of light coming in through the windows. And that's it so far, so we've just got to find the kitchen. I took a little trip down memory lane. 2 rooms in, and I'm being transported back in time. There are lovely period details dotted around the place, and it gives you a real sense of the people who lived here before. But before I get too carried away, it's worth bearing in mind that some original features like the electrics will have to go, which means for the new owner, time and money. And hiding away at the back of the house is the kitchen. It almost feels like this is where the servants would be doing the cooking kind of stuff, and the family live over there. You know what, modern life, you want to integrate this better. So I'm just wondering if you could take out some of these walls to create a really spectacular kitchen stroke living area. Imagine breakfast bar in here, lovely units there. Looks like you've got a downstairs loo there, which is a bonus. Probably keep that. But really transform this bit of the property, in fact focus on this bit of the property, and you've got a really ace potential. Ho, 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 it's magic, you know. Never believe it's not so. It's hard to believe looking at it now, but with a bit of imagination and a lot of hard work, this space could be transformed into something magical. And the potential doesn't stop there. On the first floor above the kitchen sits a WC and a very roomy bathroom. There are also